This is our single leg glute bridge variations, okay? So we're isolating one leg at a time in a bent knee position. So what I'm gonna show you is just a normal single leg glute bridge, okay? Based in the supine position, so face up. You wanna set the knee, okay, where when I bridge up, it's about at 90 degrees. A lot of times what I cue is bringing this knee into hip flexion. That'll help keep you from going into lumbar extension, because we wanna extend at the hip, not at the low back. So keep those ribs down, core tight, driving through the foot, pushing through the floor, squeezing the glute, and then using that hamstring to get into that hip extension. So I'm lifting, keeping this leg lifted into hip flexion at the same time, rather than here, because some people are more prone to throw themselves into lumbar extension, and you'll see that rib cage flare. So be aware of that. So I'm just touching down, extend up, really focusing on engaging that glute, okay? So I'm getting full hip extension. You can progress this into a little bit more of a difficult movement by elevating the foot either on a bench or a roller or whatever you have available, on a chair, okay, on your bed, something like that. Just adds another component to it of difficulty, especially with the roller, because there's an instability component to it. So putting the roller underneath the heel is going to be a little bit easier. The further up the foot you get, it's going to add another component of difficulty and make it a little bit harder to control that. So you're kind of pulling the roller into you as well as going into hip extension. So placing the foot on the roller, set up in the same position, driving through that roller, okay, pulling it back into you as you extend up through the hips. Okay, you can do that also on the bench. I like the cue set up at 90 at the ankle, 90 at the knee, 90 at the hip to start. I'm gonna try to pull, actively pulling the bench into the floor, okay, before I even initiate hip extension, okay? That's just gonna recruit more hamstring as I do this movement. And you would do that equally on both sides.